practitioner, this is what I do. And, we take into the whole ball of wax. What I've run into, even with the big box companies that you see on TV all the time, is they're managing people's money. And I'll take over an account and I'll say, did they address life insurance, estate planning, Medicare, Social Security? Oh, I asked them if they'd help me. They don't do that stuff.
What are the two questions that you must ask, must answer, must address in order to have lasting financial confidence into and throughout retirement? We will talk about them today on Protect and Grow Chicagoland Retirement with Chicagoland's certified financial planning professional, Tim Stearns, CFP, president and founder of TJ Stearns Inc. TJ Stearns Inc., of course, is the home of the Protect and Grow Written Retirement Income Blueprint. And of course, that blueprint does address these two must ask, must answer questions for your lasting financial confidence. So we'll get into that. But first and foremost, Tim, always a pleasure to have you on the program. Have you finished all of your holiday shopping yet?
I have, Peter. We are good to go. My wife handles most of that because I don't really know what's what, and she's in charge on that type of stuff.
Sounds familiar, Tim. Sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got to make sure that I shop for one or two people, maybe
Right.
mostly her. Right. That's
Yeah,
the important
exactly.
part. Yeah. So, any holiday traditions around your household, Tim? Whether it be Christmas, New Year, even Thanksgiving. I know we're already past some holidays here, but what's the household like in the Stearns family?
Well, our big one is my son Jake was born on Christmas Day,
Oh,
so we
twofer.
we
Got a
host my
twofer.
entire family, which is about 40 plus people, for his birthday. So that is our tradition, and he has never once complained about it, which is pretty cool. And he just rolls with it. The only thing he'll want is maybe Jen to make a cake for him.
Okay.
It's
All
about
right.
it. No big deal.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
He doesn't get shorted any presents.
No,
Okay.
no.
My mom's birthday is always falling on Mother's Day weekend,
Oh,
and so
geez.
she gets the twofer also.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my wife and I are familiar with that too. We have December birthdays, so
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Okay.
we did him in pretty good by getting it Christmas Day. But what can you do?
Yeah. Well, that's a household full.
Yeah.
And I get emails from Jake from time to time.
Yes, yes. He works for an insurance company and he covers your region. Yes, he
Yeah,
does.
he's a good guy. Good guy.
Yes, sir. I'm
Love
proud of
giving him
him.
a hard time every time I get those emails about I'm gonna talk to your dad about this. So
I would expect nothing less from you, Pete.
yeah. Well, Tim, always a pleasure to have you on the program. And today we are going to talk about these two must address questions. And the irony of it is, Tim, that I think that these two questions are probably overlooked and left unaddressed in most people's retirement planning. And that is a disservice to ourselves. That's, I think, a disservice of the industry. I know it's something that you specifically try to address, rectify that, make sure that these are not left unaddressed in the plans that you put together for your clients and for radio show listeners, which of course is that Protect and Grow Written Retirement Blueprint. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to get your blueprint for retirement, the Protect and Grow plan, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns, CFP, and TJ Stearns Inc. a call at 800-640-2256. That is the number to get the conversation started. They will do a full-blown review of your entire financial planning scenario, every aspect and asset of it, and make sure that you have addressed all of the questions that you need to, specifically these two that we will discuss today. 800-640-2256 is the number to call. 800-640-2256. You can also get the conversation started online at tjstearns.com. tjstearns.com is a great resource with lots of additional information, material for you to become better informed and educated about your money. So tjstearns.com or 800-640-2256. And then you can take that into a full-blown review and analysis and retirement planning strategy session and get constructed and designed the Protect and Grow Retirement Blueprint. No cost, no obligation for radio show listeners. So this is a valuable offer and opportunity that many across and throughout the Chicagoland area have already taken advantage of, but many more need to get this plan together and need to address these two questions. So again, whether you'd like to do a review, an update, or get that plan designed and put together, give Tim Stearns, CFP, a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. So Tim, we have done this series of this countdown to retirement, and we are getting closer and closer to the end, which, like, as we are getting closer and closer to retirement, we should be addressing these things progressively. This is number two. So we are right there on the doorstep, and everybody should have a plan that addresses these two questions. A lot of people don't. But question number one, what single financial risk could make the biggest impact on your retirement? And before we get into the actual answer to that, Tim, why are you finding that such an important question is not being addressed for so many people?
Well, I think it's because many of the I'll call them advisors out there think that they're money managers, and they're managing investments and that type of thing, but they're not really taking into account this number one risk that we're talking about today. And with that, comes I talk about this in my classes and on my workshops. Do you have a money manager right now, or do you have a financial planner? I'm a certified financial planning practitioner. This is what I do, and we take into the whole ball of wax. What I've run into, even with the big box companies that you see on TV all the time, is they're managing people's money. And I'll take over an account and I'll say, did they address life insurance, estate planning, Medicare, Social Security? Oh, I asked them if they'd help me. They don't do that stuff.
Taxes, another big one, right, Tim?
They don't do any of that. Nothing. And that's why I'm glad we have a CPA on staff. We have an estate attorney on staff that we address the full retirement, because you need to have that everything from A to Z.
All right. And then the second irony of this issue, Tim, again, the single financial risk that could make the biggest impact on our retirement is something that we hope for, right? That is the quintessential juxtaposition here of a double-edged sword. It's the biggest risk that we have, and yet it is something that we hope for: longevity. Our long life, Tim, is probably the greatest risk to our financial security, and yet it's something that we want.
Right, right. And we've had Todd Hegna on the show, a New York Times bestseller, Paychecks to Playchecks, one of his books, just to speak of. And he talks about it being the number one risk to a retirement. You ask other people what the number one risk is, anybody off the street, they're going to tell you it's the markets.
Now, money managers, right?
Exactly.
Are going to say, oh, it's the market risk.
Yeah. There's a lot more to this built into it with longevity. We are living longer and longer, which is a great thing. We want to be doing that, right? But we also know that many of the people who are retiring right now are baby boomers that have a 401k that has a finite amount of money in there. So how are we going to make that last over 25 to 30-year retirement? And that needs to be baked into these plans that we do for people.
Tim, the market, the turbulence, the volatility in the market, probably the number one risk to our portfolio.
Yep.
But longevity is the number one risk to our retirement, our security, our lifestyle, quality of life. By far the biggest risk to your financial stability and security in retirement. The fact that we may live an extended number of years beyond the paycheck. And we're not talking, 3, 5, if that were the case, that we retired only for that long, we could spend like drunk sailors wildly and not really run a risk. But the fact that retirement today is within 25, 30, 35 years in some cases or more, that fact multiplies the likelihood of all other risks being a factor.
Well, we've talked about that, 1 out of 2 Americans are in a relationship, marriage or whatever, have a chance of living to be 90 plus. So when you look at that and we're retiring in our 60s, that's a real thing. People are living longer and longer. So we are always talking about longevity risk with people because, it's not what your portfolio does from day to day out. It's about how you're able to last through financial retirement. And that's the huge part that I think is being missed by many of the big boxes that do planning.
Now, Tim, once our personal assets are subject to withdrawals, once we need an income and we're taking it from the
Yep.
portfolio, the opposite pressures are on that portfolio, right? We took advantage of dollar cost averaging during our working career. We had a paycheck that supported our lifestyle, our ability to pay bills, and our ability to build the portfolio. In retirement, the opposite forces put pressure on the portfolio and risk depleting it.
Right. Including the fact that we have market risk, that might make you draw down on your accounts quicker than you meant to. And we're seeing a lot of people come in here, 60 age plus that have a lot of money in stocks. And it's been a good run for that. And I appreciate that. But, we have to also remember that we're not 40 years old anymore and we're not at a blackjack table. We need to retain what we've made. The analogy I like to use is that you've, played a great game and now you're in the fourth quarter and you don't want to lose what you've built up. And I try to explain that to people. People are chasing returns, taking more risk than they should, buying the hottest stock that, of the moment, and that becomes passe a year later because it went down. You look at like a stock like Tesla, it was down 40 something percent and now it's up 57% for the year. That's not how a portfolio should look if I'm going to be in retirement. Can I have a piece of that? Of course.
Yeah.
But majority of your money should not be at risk like that.
And the risk of outliving your assets can only be prevented through having a plan, Tim. If those assets get depleted, Social Security alone generally does not account for lifestyle or give us enough to support ourselves. So we need to plan carefully, get that protect and grow retirement blueprint in the early years of retirement or even pre-retirement, even before retirement, in order to protect ourselves from this number one risk, the single financial risk that multiplies all the others that can make the biggest impact: longevity.
Right. And that's part of our plan is that we bake in all the different factors that are going to make us draw down money earlier, inflation included. You're making sure that people understand how, with these higher interest rates that we have currently, how they can actually get a nice payout that's guaranteed every month, so that will last their lifetime, them and their spouses. Takes the stress off the portfolio. And what it does is it makes for a happier retirement.
And Tim, turning longevity back into something that we hope for, right? Having
Right.
that plan in place takes this risk. And I've heard it. I've heard this comment of and this is more often just, I think, a comment on the conditions of the world that we live in today. But I've heard many times, well, I'm glad I'm old at this point in time, right? I'm glad I don't have to worry about what the consequences of this are going to be 40, 50 years from now. I feel bad for my kids or my grandkids, but having a plan, that protect and grow plan that provides for lasting income confidence, that is what's going to take longevity from a risk and turn it back financially into something that we hope for.
Right. And it takes all the pressure off your mindset in retirement. I've met many different people that come in here that they've gotten their butts kicked in the markets. They're done with that and they don't want to see it happen again. And so they're actually being smart and making a plan with us, that is dynamic. I mean, things will change throughout it. The illustrations that we're doing are probably as good as the day that we did them. But we're staying on top of it, making sure that we're true to the discipline. And with that comes, rewards of being relaxed in retirement, knowing that your paycheck is coming on the 15th of the month from, let's say, an insurance company, every, annuity or something like that. Every 15th of the month, your money comes in, whether the market's up, down, or sideways. And that's, peace of mind is hard to buy.
And that's just a piece of the plan. Again,
Right.
that's part of the
Part of it.
comprehensive protect and grow retirement blueprint, ladies and gentlemen, looking at income, investments, taxes, healthcare, legacy, maximizing Social Security, minimizing risk and fees, minimizing taxes into the future. All of those are part of the planning process, not just the plan, not just a one-time thing, but the ongoing process of retirement and building retirement confidence. And if you'd like that protect and grow retirement blueprint or an analysis of your current plan, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns, CFP, a call, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256, or online at tjstearns.com, tjstearns.com. So, Tim, we are counting down. This is the two questions that you must answer, must address for lasting financial confidence. Number one, what single financial risk can make the biggest impact on your retirement longevity? And then question number two, how can you eliminate the possibility of this risk ruining your retirement? And again, left unaddressed in many people's retirement plans or projections or outlooks or situations. How can we eliminate the possibility of the risk of longevity, something we hope for, ruining our retirement, Tim?
Well, income is the cure for that risk that longevity presents. So we are making sure that people have lifetime incomes that are increasing with inflation. Making sure that they understand how we're going to go from point A to point B, which is them being retired for 20 something years. We do our plans for at least 30 years. And you might say that's people out there might say, oh, that's, long. Well, my mom's 95 and she's been retired 30 years because she retired after I graduated college. That's how I keep track of that. So that is a real thing. My mom's one of the two people that live to be over the 90 years old. And, she had to have income. She was lucky enough to have a pension, and my dad had a railroad pension. I don't have that. And most baby boomers don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So how am I going to set up a pension for me or my clients? It's by buying an annuity. It's as simple as that. And the
Yeah.
payouts that we're seeing because of interest rates being so high right now is the best time to be buying an annuity in my career. We even used annuities before when interest rates were lower. It just took more money to get the payout, right? We could do more with less, is what I'm trying to say. And with that comes peace of mind.
Generate more income with less dollars dedicated to that income
Correct.
over your lifetime. And now's the time to look at that. And again, if you would like to look at setting up your baseline, your foundation for lasting financial confidence, and then how to build upon that, the protect and grow retirement blueprint, pick up the phone and give Tim Stearns, TJ Stearns Inc. a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. And Tim, today, answering these two questions, I feel like we're focusing and concentrating much more on the protect side, right?
Yeah.
Protecting lifestyle, protecting quality of life. But that's what allows for the growth, the duality of the protect and grow
Right.
retirement blueprint is you have to have some of both.
Right. And most people that come in to see us have your typical 60-40 split, whether it's bonds or stocks. It's all correlated to the market, and that is not a guaranteed income. It's not going to be. And so if there's a correction of, plus 20% or something like that, those people are going to feel it way worse than people that have some protect money. Annuities get a bad name, and I think that if people do the research and understand them, which in my book I address all this. So I wouldn't mind giving away some free copies today for that. So anyone out there who has over $1 million in their portfolio, give us a call and we'll get the book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, which is exactly what we're trying to do here. You don't have the same issues that my parents had. That's a different era. So we are needing to solve the modern retirement riddle. So the first 10 callers with over $1 million worth of assets will get the books into their hands.
Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle. If you'd like to get a copy of that in your hands, pick up the phone, give a call now, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. You mentioned it there. Again, Tim, I was already thinking about this, but the fact that today's generation does not have the same problems as the previous generation, as your parents' generation. You talked about the fact that your parents had pensions,
Yep.
had railroad retirements, right? Today's generation does not have that secondary stream of income. And there's a line here in your report on these two questions. In the first question, that Social Security alone is seldom enough to support ourselves once personal assets have been depleted. Now, in the previous generation, there was Social Security and the pension.
Yep.
And so just because that previous generation had that secondary source of guaranteed lifetime income, that pension element added to Social Security, it was a much, much more confident retirement outlook for them, knowing that that income would keep coming in as long as they were alive.
My mom said to me the other day, your dad just wanted to make sure I would be okay. And then she looked around and she said, I think I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
That is peace of mind, my friend. And I don't think most baby boomers out there have that until they get a plan. And 9 out of 10 of them don't have a plan. And so if you want to have that peace of mind and make sure that you are leaving your spouse in good order, then a protect and grow plan is the way to go.
And again, if you would like the copy of that book, Solving the Modern Retirement Riddle, if you would like to get your Protect and Grow Retirement Blueprint, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. That takes all of the risks, all of the factors into account, maps out a plan, where you are, where you envision or would like to be into the future. What are your financial goals and lifestyle goals? How do you get from here to there with confidence? And that is the Protect and Grow plan, ladies and gentlemen. Pick up the phone if you'd like to get that put together. 800-640-2256, 800-640-2256. Tim, you earlier also mentioned very famous financial guru, best-selling author, PBS special, Tom Hegna,
Yep.
Paychecks and Playchecks, Don't Worry, Retire Happy, are two of his most renowned books, I believe. He cites statistical data, research into retirement that shows that people that had those guaranteed streams of income, Social Security, pensions, annuities to fill the voids where necessary, that they not only are more financially confident, but live longer. So if we're
Right.
talking about this number one risk to retirement, longevity, right? Guaranteeing yourself a foundation of sustainable income actually is the factor that turns that risk back into the blessing that we hope for, longevity.
Well, when you look at the fact that 15% of society has pensions, you have 85% of people who are questioning what's going to happen if something bad happens in the markets, if they have a run on their money because of long-term care, taxes go up, what will they do? These are all the things that we bake into our plan. They're all in there. And with that, comes the peace of mind. And I can't say that more.
Are happier and
Yes.
live longer, are
Yes.
happier and live longer. So not
Right.
not only is the life extended because of having that confidence in setting up the plan, but the quality of that extra time is that much better. Tim, who doesn't want that for their retirement? And why are these two questions left unaddressed so often? How could we say we're doing service to people these days if we do not address these factors specifically in a plan?
Well, again, I have people coming in here all the time from the big box, brokerage houses that you see on TV that are unhappy with not having a plan. They're unhappy that if the market corrects, they really don't have a foolproof idea of what to do with their money. And with that, we get down to brass tacks and go through that. Basically, right now, you're using a money manager, and a money manager, all they do is manage money. They're not planning out a 25 to 30-year retirement. They're not telling you when to pull down Social Security, what you should do each year with Medicare. Is your estate plan in order? The one lady I spoke to the other day on a three-way call with a client of both of ours scoffed at life insurance, and she's a certified financial planner, and I couldn't believe that she said, I just do that because I have to. I have that license, but I don't do that with my clients. And I'm wondering, how do you address all these different things? Because it's not just money management that people are thirsty for. They
Mhm.
want to get all their answers, whether it's estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, et cetera. And that's what we do here is that we get all their answers right away.
Income, steady, predictable income, not assets, not investments that fluctuate in the market, but reliable, predictable, dependable income is the cure for the risk that longevity presents us. Even if we do live a long, long lifetime and as a result, Tim, run out of assets or money, or the market has a downturn and a portion of our assets disappear, not because we spent it, but because the market wiped it away. If we have sustainable, predictable income that will cover our lifestyle expenses, we can maintain that confident, happy quality of life in retirement. That's I think what a true plan is going to address.
I would agree with that. And I can tell you by the clients that we've done it for, they're very happy and they I don't want to say they live, free and all that type of stuff, but they know that we've got their back. We know that we're checking on the plan every year, make sure that nothing's changed on their end or our end. And by doing that, you feel like you have a navigation on your retirement.
You need to deal with an experienced, qualified professional, ladies and gentlemen, one that deals specifically with the needs, the concerns, who understands how to address the risks of the time ahead that you will face, that you will encounter, the challenges of retirement. We as individuals only get one shot at that ideal retirement. Smart people learn from their own mistakes, but we do not have that time or luxury in retirement. There's no do-over. There's no better luck next time. You need to learn from the mistakes of others. And that's where having that resource of a certified financial planning professional who deals specifically with retirement needs and risks and situations, who has seen it time and time again, can benefit you in your quality of life. Give a call to Tim Stearns, CFP. Tim, you've made a couple fantastic offers on today's program. And again, ladies and gentlemen, for you to take advantage of those, 800-640-2256 is the number to call, 800-640-2256. TJ Stearns is located in Arlington Heights conveniently, but can meet in person, virtually if need be, holds educational classes all over and throughout the Chicagoland area. And Tim, once again, what are the offers and opportunities that you want to make available to the listeners?
Well, I think everyone should have us take a look underneath their hood, if you will, and see if what is going on with their risk. Do they have a plan in place, and what their performance has been? And then in addition, of course, we don't charge for that. The other thing that we are doing is obviously offering the book to anyone with over $1 million worth of assets. We'll get the book into their hands.
Solving the modern retirement riddle, and you solve that through having that Protect and Grow written retirement blueprint. Ladies and gentlemen, pick up the phone, give a call, 800-640-2256 to take advantage of those opportunities for the plan, to get that put in place, for the review, the strategy session, the analysis. No cost, no obligation at all whatsoever. It's just the phone call to get it started. And if you have over $1 million, the strategies described in solving the modern retirement riddle, they apply to you and your situation. And you can get that book for free along with the planning, review, and strategy session. So anyone entitled to that review, that complimentary retirement Protect and Grow blueprint. And then if you've got over the $1 million, you will get the book to come along with that. Pick up the phone, give a call now, 800-640-2256. That's 800-640-2256. Tim, always a pleasure, always a great time chatting with you, and always an important conversation.
All right, Peter, thanks. Happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you.
Tune into Chicagoland certified financial planner Tim Stearns' full radio program and visit tjstearns.com for many valuable resources, including other great episodes of Chicagoland Retirement. Be sure to subscribe.
Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature, not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals or growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs.